Oh, yeah? Okay, fine. Hey, welcome back.
Oh shit! I had not. I think it was
What?
Did I have my voice open? Did I have voice audio? Maybe my voice was just missing.
I don't know.
I think I was muted.
During the entire first section?
Probably, yeah. But yeah, I'm still recording, so
Okay,
at
well,
least we got it recorded.
Yeah, we were talking about things going wrong.
Yeah, I was talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so okay. Yeah, I have to make some shortcuts for next time.
Yeah, well, we'll edit your audio that you're recording separately.
Yeah, that'll be
edit
fine.
That in.
No worries about
that'll
that.
Be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it goes on YouTube, we're gonna fix that.
I mean, this was expected. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, let's start off with as usual. What did you play last week?
What did I play last week? Well, not much different than last week. I played.
Kind of expected that.
Yeah. So let's see. I have to do two things at once now.
Yeah.
I played some more Mario Galaxy, of course.
Of course.
And yeah, again, it's. I don't think I have a lot to add to the discussion or the conversation.
No, that's fine. Fine. Let's keep it short this week.
Yeah, it's fun. Creative stuff like this bowling alley where I'm really bad at. It's one of those monkey challenges. Just this monkey that keeps challenging you in getting high scores. You have to beat his score. That's his thing. And if you do that, you get a star. So that's I've been doing that. And other than that,
yeah,
there's
it does seem kind of challenging. Yeah.
Yeah, and another lovely levels with new mechanics and new level kind of things like these wheels you have to climb while they're rolling and stuff. It's all very fun. But yeah, more Mario Galaxy 2. Really good stuff.
Yeah. Did you get squished a lot, or?
I did get squished a lot. Yes.
Okay.
That's one of the things. If you get squished in Mario Galaxy, you're dead. It's just there's no lives left. You're instantly game over, basically. Or not game over, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, like normally you have a health bar, but now it's game over.
Yes.
Same as falling off a level, of course.
Yeah, and I stopped at a very ridiculous challenge. One of the what's it called? The prankster comets. It's this one that I'm doing in this video right now. It's you have to jump on as many enemies as possible in a string, preferably, because you score points with that, or you have to either get coins, both of them probably, and you have to beat the high score for that. So it is really difficult, and I got really frustrated, and I've been like doing that for like 3 hours or something. It's very, very tricky, especially because these guys also shoot rocks at you. Yeah, so that's my current thing. I'm kind of working on to get that star, but it got to the point where I kind of rage quitted it.
Yeah, and, I mean, it happens with games, you know. Sometimes things just don't work, so you have to do it all over again.
Yeah,
at a later point, you know, try again.
Try again. It got better at a while, but yeah, you have to score 10,000 points. I think 8,700 is the biggest I did. So I got really close. So that means I can do it eventually. I mean, it's always fair, but it does really test your your jumping capabilities, and especially sometimes it's a little difficult with the thumbstick trying to get the right angle, because these games, you know, the camera doesn't go behind you. It's always, you know, you always have to steer according to the camera. So sometimes if you try to do a specific jump, and if you don't have enough momentum, then you get in trouble. So that's one of the things. Other than that, I played more Rot. Let me lower the volume on that. Why does it have separate volumes? I finished episode 1, so I got that done. Got all the secrets. I did that rule where if I don't find the last secret, then I'm allowed to look up a hint. That's my new thing.
Right.
But it's been really difficult. Some of these levels, I was like I had like, what is it, 4 out of 9 secrets, and I was surprised at the end. I was like, wait, I still have 5 secrets to go, and
Right.
and it's like, where are they? Like, I at this point, I should have at least walked into one by accident, because
I have the same thing with bolt gun.
Okay, yeah.
So
yeah, bolt gun has a pretty nifty secrets, like we saw last time.
Last week.
Where there's 2 secrets in one spot where you don't expect that to happen, where you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's tricky. So with this game, the secrets are really well hidden. There's a few types of secrets. That's what I always like when the games do that, where you kind of know what to look for. So either it's like a piece of wall that's a little bit shifted, or there's in this game there is like a little electrical box. If you shoot it, it opens the door somewhere. But those electric boxes can be hidden around corners, around buildings, and in little like behind poles and all these weird angles and stuff. So that, and there's like it's all sorts of different secret stuffs. But it's sometimes you have to destroy something to reveal a hole behind it, stuff like that. And other than that, the game is still very fun, very brown still, lots of brown. I'm having a great time with it. It's actually, I was like surprised how much fun I'm having with this game. More like, and I wanted like to play more of it.
That's good.
And I know that sounds silly. Like, of course, it's a game, you want to play more of it, but it's where, like, there's a specific niche that it really gets to me, that I really like to play. So you get excited of getting to the next level and see what's in store, right?
It scratches a
itch. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So and I've been like having trouble finding that in modern games a lot. I don't know what it is, but maybe it just has like this hook in me because it's an old school game that's maybe age related, but I don't know.
I think it also has to do with a lot of shooters these days are like over the top.
Yeah.
Like a lot of set pieces going on, and this, like bolt gun, it's very simple.
Yes.
You don't need overly bombastic stuff at times. You know, I like a story in my game, sure, of course, but if it gets in the way of the gameplay too much, it tends to be, frustrating.
Yeah.
It kind of works on your nerves at times. I had the same thing with a couple of other games where, I started a new game, and you got unskippable cutscenes.
Yeah.
Like, no, I want to play the game. You know, I don't want. I've already seen these cutscenes. There's some games that have that, but luckily a lot of games that you can skip stuff.
Yeah.
So that's good. But at times you just can't, and it really sucks. So I kind of get that.
Yeah. I think you nailed it on the head. It's just, this game is just, you start it up, bang, the gameplay begins, and there you go.
Yeah.
There's no elaborate story sessions, conversations with NPCs. And I think I'm a very gameplay focused gamer in that respect. Like you, I do like my stories once in a while. I like God of War was great, all that stuff. But I can't see like I can't see myself playing Spider-Man, for example.
I can, but I'm big on story games, and I am big on story games.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just have that feeling of, like I have with Bolt Gun. I was like, okay, I kind of want to play this, and then I figured out I love the gameplay. It's real simple. It's just a classic thing. No nonsense. Just there's a short animated intro with some voice acting, and the rest of the game, and it's like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you just, here we go. We're going to fire at a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I just saw a thing on a video where the rock is coming at you.
Yeah, and it follows you. This game is...
That's actually funny, because the same thing has happened in... Elden Ring, I think, or one of the Dark Souls games.
Oh,
I saw
where
a
it's
video
where
of
it's
that.
alive, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it just someone was standing on a bridge, and there's a giant boulder coming at you, and that dude, the player was like, I'm gonna jump on the edge of the bridge, so it's gonna roll past me, and then you see the boulder stop.
Yeah.
It actually turns around, and then it just moves towards you. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That's so funny. And the same thing has happened here, basically.
Yeah, there's a lot of in jokes in this game. It's just one big slav joke, basically, one big meme.
Yeah.
So little surprise elements like that are just in the game. It's like, for example, the first boss is just you like flip a switch and you don't know where the boss is until you look at the roof and he's just sitting there. Like I think it's a famous Russian guy, but I didn't get exactly who. With robot like spider legs, and he was hanging on the ceiling like a spider, and I was just like, okay, this is a boss room, definitely a boss room. Where's the boss? And it was like, and I looked up and he's like on the ceiling, like, oh, what are you doing up there? So I start shooting, and then of course he comes down and fights you. But yeah, there's a lot of little jokes. There's little interactive things like pianos that you can interact with, and I saw a screenshot, kind of spoiled myself on it, I guess, but there's like a certain point, there's like a miniature train set that you can control and you can do things with. Nice. Like all these kinds of like little interactive thingies. Yeah. Of course, there's a lot of little pop culture style jokes, and of course. And you know, it's the kind of, you know, the Duke Shadow Warrior formula, where there's just a lot of fun stuff in the levels themselves. Each level is like a little joke, like a certain theme, and it's a lot of fun. Like, this is very inspired by what you see here is very inspired by On a Rail in Half-Life, where you control a cart through a level and you have to open doors to get further. So
I remember that
little
level.
homage to that. But yeah,
I remember that level a lot.
Yeah. I think everybody remembers that. It's one of the infamous or famous. I loved it myself. Half-Life. I love those little like change-ups things. So
I mean, and that's what makes Half-Life so good. But what Half-Life did is it doesn't take you out of the game.
No,
all
exactly.
The story is
first person
when you're playing.
Immersive storytelling. And I would, if I would ever make a game, that would be definitely one of the focus points. Always keep the player in the game, if possible, because it's just it's fun. You get more game time out of it. Like there's a lot of games where if you strip away the cutscenes and the conversations and all the little like dead moments, there's not a lot of game left. Or at least happens. That happens sometimes. So. I always so that's it, you know. This game it's also one of those games, because it's not story focused, I could just play this listening to a podcast or watching a stream in the background, because you don't have to focus on that stuff. You can just play the game and as a you know, just chill.
I've been doing that with Halls of Torment,
especially those games as well.
I can't believe I've already got over 100 achievements. So.
Really? I still have to start. I bought the game, but So Rot. Really fun. I think that's about it for me. Oh, I dove a little bit more into myhouse.wad, the crazy Doom mod, discovering even more paths in that. I even learned it's like, I think it's more like an Easter egg thingy that I can discuss, because you can use a no clip cheat in the game, but if you do that, you end up in the back rooms. Because of course you do.
So
like
anti-cheat.
like there's an anti-cheat in the game. It goes that deep. So
wow.
It's
okay. That sounds fun.
It's like, I think I learned that it's been an actual very big project that has been made by a lot of different people over the span of a few years. And there's a whole lore thing, like a forum, like AR game around this thing, where people have mocked up photos and written stories about the so-called people this map came from, you know. The guy that supposedly died, and the friend that posted the map online. And then there's this article where you can see the friend's name as well, also deceased. So it's like this weird kind of ghost story thing going on.
Right.
So yeah, myhouse.wat is amazing. I would definitely recommend anyone to try it at least. It's just I'm still finding new things. I'm not sure how much I've found because of course I don't want to spoil myself too much. But I found a new thing, a totally new thing, and it kind of surprised me in a way that doesn't happen a lot in video games.
Okay.
Where you just you try to find secrets, but in this game it's all about the secrets, or in this mod thing, and then you discover like a little corner that you haven't found, that you didn't find before, and it takes you to a whole new thing. So it's I'm not sure how much is left. I should maybe look up like a list of things you could find without like spoiling too much, but like I don't know, like some kind of hint or like a word about what the theme about that secret is. Because I do want to know everything. I want to experience everything there is. It's been fun. So yeah, there's a lot of time worth for that one map, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, that was it. That was everything for me. So go ahead. What did you play this week, Vash?
Well, I actually I've been playing Lego games for a long time. Ever since the first one, of course. And I was already playing Lego DC Supervillains for a bit.
Oh yeah.
But then I stopped playing, and it was still on PlayStation Plus. So I decided, I'm going to download it again, and I'm going to play it. And it's fun. It's just fun. It's a lot of funny jokes. Playing with the bad guys. I might platinum it. I did platinum some other Marvel Lego, the Marvel Lego games. Well, not all of them. I did pick up Lego Marvel Heroes 2.
Okay.
And it's funny because I actually bought the season pass for that today because it's only €3 on the PlayStation Store right now.
Oh, that's not too expensive.
No.
That's nice.
Because there's a state of play sale going on at the moment.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
For the next week. By the time you hear this podcast, it might be done. So.
Probably.
Unfortunately. Unless you're watching on YouTube, then it's still going on. But yeah, it's fun. It's just a fun game. It's
Lego stuff is usually really good.
What can you add? There's nothing to add.
Yeah.
Just they're so full of things.
Yeah.
So
it's funny. That's the team. I don't know if is it like specific Lego team that makes these games?
I think it is.
Yeah, because they dive deep into like whatever source material there is for the current game. Either it be Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park. They did all those things, and it's
Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
A lot of little jokes, of course, with every scene. It's like a little parody, but a very wholesome parody, basically.
Lots of that. Yeah. So even with those evil villains like the Joker, we of course know the Joker kills people. Yeah. Quite brutally at times, but in this game, it's a kids game, family game, so it's different. Here he's just making funny things, and of course they're bad guys. They know that, but and the story is fun too. So and besides that, I actually started playing Front Mission 1 Remake.
Okay.
Today, finally, because I've had it for a while now, and on the Switch. But I also going over to something else, which is it's coming to other platforms.
Oh, interesting.
It's actually been announced that the game is coming to PlayStation, PC, and Xbox. So on all Xbox platforms and on PC on both Epic Game Store and Steam.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, there's now a demo on Steam.
Cool.
So if you're interested, the save game of the demo goes into the full game.
Oh, I always like that if it's possible.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of developer magic sometimes because usually a demo is like a separate chunk, but I guess they made the data compatible.
Well, it's a Square Enix game. Forever Entertainment got the license for the game series because this is just the first title in the series that has been remade. There's also Front Mission 2 coming. That one's been delayed, unfortunately, so it's going to come a bit later than expected. Because they are probably going to better the graphics. There have been some comments, some criticism on the graphics of the first game.
Okay.
It looks good, but don't expect too much from it.
Yeah.
I'm mostly looking forward to Front Mission 3, which will probably arrive next year, the remake, because that is the only Front Mission I think that has been released in Europe at the time. Front Mission 1 and 2 never were released here because they both were for Super Nintendo, I think. And Front Mission 3 did get a release after the success of Final Fantasy VII. But it didn't do well, so Europe never got Front Mission 4, which did get a release in the US. And Front Mission 5, which never got a release outside of Japan. So, yeah.
Okay.
That's a shame, but... I hope we're gonna get all the games now. So if you're interested in good strategy games, in a good strategy game with giant robots.
It's like a mix of XCOM and the other game, the DS game.
Advance Wars?
A little bit that style of maybe what I'm I like what I'm seeing from the trailer. I always knew about the franchise, the title Front Mission. I never played the games because I was never into strategy games. So as a kid either, these games are pretty old. At least the series is pretty old. Yeah, but more mech games. So
yeah, and you can customize your mech. Different arms have different strengths, different feet. You can get tracks on your Wanzer, as they call it, WANZER, and they're, I really love the series. Lots of political stuff happening as well. A very deep political story.
Okay.
Lots of lore, and I just love that. Lots of reading of lore as well. But
yeah.
Okay. It's definitely one of my favorites.
Cool. So, all right.
Yeah.
Anything else, or was that it?
No, that was it on my part.
Okay.
And that means that we are going forward to some news this week. News.
Okay.
Sorry, I suddenly remember the Bruce Almighty movie. With, Steve Carell going nuts.
Yes.
Doodoo gaga pee pee. Yeah, I love that. Such a funny scene.
It is.
News.
The news. Let me just.
Sorry, let's take a drink.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first thing we're gonna start off with, because we missed that last week, was the entire Gollum saga.
Oh God, the Gollum saga. All right, let me.
Yeah, it's clear that management can be difficult.
Yes.
Managing a game project is difficult. In the case of Gollum, I'm certain that the developers bit off way more than they could chew. This is a much bigger game than the previous outings. So, that's a shame that they kind of failed on that.
Yeah. It's always with the Lord of the Rings. There's a whole string of very good games, and there's a few games that are all right, and then there's a few just that miss the mark.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I always feel like the Lord of the Rings franchise it's like thrown around a lot actually. It's not like you have to climb a mountain and find a holy grail before you're allowed to make a game in the Lord of the Rings franchise. And of course, Daedalic is as a developer is very known for story games and visual adventure games. They did the the Ponia trilogy, that one,
right?
The Monkey Island style adventure games, and they ventured off into other genres as well. And
they also did the Edna and Harvey point-and-click games.
Yeah, exactly.
Which were kind of fun. Yeah.
Yes, they're great. Their adventure games are great.
Yeah.
But this is definitely a project that's really big for them.
Yeah, I mean, those point-and-click games You could basically say they're A games.
Yeah.
And they kind of wanted to make a AAA game, I think, with this.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Yeah, but it didn't really work, unfortunately. Which is a shame because there's a lot of potential for it, and they had a very unique art style.
Yeah.
That didn't really work out, unfortunately.
No. It's
Why are we getting Manscaped commercials? What?
Nothing. It's in the video.
Oh, it's in the video. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right. It's
right.
It's
it's a sponsored one.
Paid sponsorship.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's. I don't know. I always wonder what's going on in the heads of a developer when they're playtesting stuff like this and they're like getting close to release, and
yeah,
I wonder if they're like if they feel that pressure as well, getting close to that release date, because it's a Lord of the Rings game, right? I mean, that alone,
you want it to be good.
Yeah, like there's so many eyes at you, right? It's like, oh, the Gollum game, because the idea is not that bad. It's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
To have a game around Gollum and to see what he was up to between point X and point Z in the story.
Yeah, not just that. I mean, it's not a game that is supposed to be heavy on combat.
No.
So it's way more about sneaking around, trying to stay alive, and go through small areas and help people or help yourself in the end, mostly. So there is potential for that, because sneaking around and that sort of stuff is done in games like Thief, and so it shouldn't, it should cater to a certain group of people.
Yeah.
But they failed so hard on the technical side.
Yeah.
Which, again, I do like that, because most of the time when things fail, developers are being made fun of.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, I did that in the past as well. But they don't deserve it. They took a shot. They tried something very much out of their own comfort zone.
Yeah.
And again, it's a shame that it failed.
Yeah, it's difficult because, like, I wonder what should have been done in this case, right? Like, should a
little bit more polish, I think.
Yeah, should they have been given more time, and was there time pressure on it by the publishers? Yeah. Probably, right?
That's a good chance of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and I think there's also just fundamental flaws in the game design itself, where there were just choices of, like, especially like in the first half of the game, where you're basically doing like chores for Sauron, like having to like blow up barrels to clear obstructions in the dungeons that you're in.
I mean, it's fine for like a small part of the game as a tutorial, maybe.
Yeah. It's like getting used to the gameplay elements, maybe.
Yeah, you don't want to do that for like the first half of the game.
No. So, because you want to get to the good stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like you want to be scared as Gollum. You want to be sneaking around and and impose like big enemies and use a little bit of wit that he has to solve his problems, and yeah, it's one of those things where you could make like his need for the ring be such a strong motive that he becomes inventive to get out. That he shows that strength that you gain from such a desire to get out and get to the ring, because that's the only thing he cares about personally. Of course, they also give him like a bird in this one they have to take care of or something. It's one of those other weird you saw him a little bit like before.
Yeah, he has a bird companion.
Yeah, there's a bird companion. And what he does here is you can give a friend's like little instructions, so then it becomes sort of like an NPC management game where you steer people in directions and hit switches and stuff. And try not to get eaten. Yeah.
Yeah. That's odd.
But yeah, I think I think the bugs are the biggest problem. I mean, even if it was a little bit of meh game, I think that wouldn't be such a big problem if it was just technical. It was such a. I've seen so many videos of things that are just you can't do that. Like, you can't keep a game in that state. Like, every single person that has played this has had these like insane bugs. Like every few minutes or so. Like, it's not a thing where sometimes something breaks. It's constantly. Like, for example, Dance Gaming on Twitch, who made whole compilations on TikTok, I think, got really popular through that. With just this whole string of weird things. And I
did share a screenshot of the game that, the eyes were... I mean, I get his eyes are weird.
Yeah.
But that shot was really bad.
Yeah.
Bad lighting, everything about it was just, it could have been a lot better. Because the lighting in the game doesn't look that bad.
No, it's artistical. It's not that bad of a game. Like, I mean, the art itself, the textures and the designs for the dungeons, it all feels pretty authentic. It's just...
but there's... just the gameplay loop and the
skeleton,
the technicals, the technical stuff and the gameplay loop could have been a lot better. It might have been a more fun game. Because of the errors they made, some of that stuff that that isn't as great stands out more as well. And it's the same thing with movies. Like I said during the Redfall thing when we discussed that, which we're also going to come back to today, because there's been some new info out. But like a movie, if something falls apart, the rest of the movie tends to fall apart as well. So, if the graphics aren't, if there's bad CGI, the rest of the movie is gonna be extra scrutinized as well.
It's the things that jump out at the most at you. All right. Sometimes there's bad things in video games, but because it's like a background thing, and you hardly see it. Or it's like one character maybe that you meet and then never meet again. It just falls into the background, and it might be a weak point, but it's never gonna affect the rest of the video game.
No.
And in this, it's just because it's the technical aspect of the video game. It's like rooted in everything you do. So it's sad, and they're apparently working on another game already, right? They're like...
they're working on another Lord of the Rings game that I hope they're getting more time for that one.
They have to. I mean, I think they got the message at this point.
I do have to say, because mostly they made 2D, and I think they also did Blackguards, which was a 3D game. But, from failure you can learn a lot more.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that is a good thing. So the chances are that the next game might be a lot better.
Oh yeah, I hope so.
I hope so too.
I mean, I hope it's a really good game. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those one of those little redeem stories. That would be cool.
That
because they have a good track record. Like before this, so.
I still have to play their. I think it's Ken Follett's The Pillars of. What was it?
I think
of the Earth. Pillars of the Earth.
I heard very good things about that one.
Yeah, I heard it's. I think it's based on a German novel.
Okay.
Or at least a novel, Pillars of the Earth. But I haven't really read that, so I do have the game. I never played it, but I do like point-and-click adventure time. So when I'm in the mood, I might pick that. I might start playing that one. But speaking of development issues, let's go over to Redfall.
Redfall, yes.
Yeah, because this week a big report by Jason Schreier from Bloomberg has come out, and well, a lot of the things that we talked about are true.
Yeah.
Some things that I had an idea that the game was actually filled with microtransactions, but it has been taken out, and we weren't really sure.
Yeah.
But that did happen, according to the report.
Yeah.
So Bethesda wanted a game with microtransactions, but nobody really wanted to make this game.
No, that's the one that stings with me the most, is that it is basically a video game that no one wanted to work on. Because, it's Arkane, right? We know what they make. They make immersive sims. They make games like Dishonored and Prey, Those are the projects that they pour all their love and soul in. Mm-hmm. And then they get to make this game, which is totally out of their comfort zone. I don't like it's a whole step lower than what they usually do. Like this open world co-op game, and then with vampires and powers and stuff. And they like, everybody was a little bit demotivated to even start this project. But why is this stuff happening? It's a little bit depressive.
Again, management that they wanted to have their own game full of microtransactions and season passes, probably, and and Arkane wasn't the studio for that. It even goes so far as like 70% of the studio that worked on Prey left during the development of Redfall.
Yeah, I read that.
70%.
70%.
That is, and you have to find new people, and this hurt the development a lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot. And they were also hoping that Microsoft, picking up ZeniMax at the time, which is the the overlord company of Bethesda, and they're the mother company, basically, that Bethesda is part of, and with the acquisition of ZeniMax by Microsoft back in 2020, they were hoping that Microsoft would put this game to a halt.
Okay.
But that never happened.
Because
as we know,
they wanted product, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They were hoping that either the game would be forced they would be forced to reboot it as classic Arkane style single player project.
Yeah.
But that didn't work. So if that failed, they were hoping that that Microsoft would cancel development altogether.
Okay.
Because they were not, according to what was written, they were not confident or enthusiastic about it.
No. Oh, I can see why.
And it shows. It definitely shows. They were being forced to work on a game. Is bad.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, of course, there's a lot of game studios that especially I'm already like thinking that in the direction of the studios that make Call of Duty games and FIFA games. There's of course game developer positions where you do a lot of the same, or you do projects that you're not personally invested in, right? But because you got to do your part, you got to do art, you got to do optimization, you got to do music or sound. But if like the whole development team is kind of like, why am I doing this? Man, that's I wonder how much effect that has on the game itself, and like the productivity and letting things slip in terms of technical problems.
They let slip a lot of stuff. You can clearly see that. I think they also didn't have the manpower anymore at some point.
Yeah.
So that's why you get issues with like the water that we saw in the start. That didn't look really good. And of course the technical issues, the network code that they had no experience with altogether.
Yeah.
So yeah. And it's a shame because the concept of the game is interesting.
Yeah, you could do really cool stuff. I mean, I kind of was hoping, at least when it was announced and the Arkane name was attached, I kind of hoped that it was gonna be a co-op immersive sim. so that it was going to be difficult, and that you would need like to do like a little bit more stealthy, a little bit more tactical, to approach certain situations. So you plan your attacks ahead, and that the abilities would play into that. So you could, for example, lay a magic trap, or that sort of co-op stuff. That's what I was hoping for when they first announced it. But the trailer already had this kind of free roam, running around, Left 4 Dead vibe. So I guess they didn't go for that, and it was literally that. Kind of like a co-op Borderlands / Left 4 Dead kind of game. And what you said earlier, that the game was planned to be a live service kind of game at first, with microtransactions and all that stuff, and that had to be shaped into, oh no, we're gonna go single player and co-op only, and we're gonna strip all that. So what's left? This. Go ahead, finish that.
It was kind of bare bones. Right from the get go, and that's a damn shame. Not wanting to work on the game, it definitely hurt the studio a lot. And from other things that I've read, it basically boiled down to, they wanted to work on it as much as possible, and then management was like, "Yeah, you can do that Arkane Magic." And we've heard about a certain studio being named with magic before. That everything in the end came together, and that was BioWare, and that didn't work out for them either. So the fact that they actually delivered some good games at BioWare is kind of a miracle. Now that we think about it. And I do have to do the segue, because speaking of BioWare, I really had to go that way, because there's a similarity and there's very big difference between Arkane and BioWare right now. Nobody wanted to work on Redfall at Arkane, but Anthem failed when it first came out. And there were talks that, we're gonna redo a lot of stuff, we're gonna rework the basic gameplay was really good for Anthem, because I really enjoyed the flying around, and some of the combat was
the
good.
mechanics were good.
The mechanics were really good. So the developers wanted like a year and a half to work on the game, a lot longer, because Anthem was actually worked on for only 15 months. The Anthem we got was only 15 months.
Yeah, that's crazy if you think about
bizarre.
it. That is bizarre. That's short.
Yeah, because according to where was he? I have to look that up real quick. So Ian Saterdalen.
That's a cool name.
Saterdalen. I think he's from Norway or something, or Swedish, or it's a really good name. He said on Twitter, I think, or said somewhere that, or I think it was from Reddit. Ian Saterdalen revealed that Anthem's development team was made to work like 90 hours a week for 15 months.
Oh my
90 hours.
90?
That is bizarre.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So they all knew that the game wasn't ready for release, but it all boils down to management, because management said, management made decisions and just threw them under the bus.
It's so weird. This was one of those really big next gen super hyped games.
Yeah, it was also kind of open world, sort of, with some microtransactions kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Into it.
Trying to make that buck.
It was another 4-player co-op game that you could also play single player. So there's like I said, there's some similarities, but the biggest difference is that the developers were really confident about this game, about the rework, and they were really really looking forward to giving people the updated version.
Yeah.
And then management did say, "Oh no, we're not going to do it anymore."
God.
And that that also kind of sucks.
Yeah.
There's two extremes in this case that really stood out to me because of these reports coming out in the same week.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really wanted to highlight this week because it's so weird. And like I said, I did see the potential of Redfall when I first played it.
Mm-hmm.
It just lacked a lot of stuff, and the same goes for Anthem.
Yeah.
And maybe Redfall has a chance to turn things around.
Yeah.
But
maybe
after this report from Jason, I'm not so sure they still want to work on that game.
No, that's
yeah.
That's a crashing ship. I
think at this moment, if no one wants to work on it anymore, if there's no confidence, just let it go, because they already lost like 70% of their talent that had been there for years.
Yeah, you want to get out of that space and start on a different project, something you want to work on.
Exactly. Yeah. So in this case, Phil Spencer also said that he is sort of responsible.
Okay.
For the failings of Redfall, that's what he said during. I think it was kind of funny.
Okay.
So that's. I'm not sure what their plan is next, but we might hear something soon.
Okay.
So there's stuff coming, of course, but I don't think. I think Redfall at this moment in time, I think maybe you should just let it go.
Okay. Yeah.
Let it go.
Let it go. Just let it go. Work on the next project. Go in with a fresh cup of coffee.
Yeah. For months after the movie came out, Frozen, I managed to avoid every mention of that song.
Yeah.
Like ever hearing that song, and at some point you just hear the song and you're like, oh god, it's that song. Because anyway, sidetracked. So next up, I think that's going to be the main topic.
Yeah, I guess so. Because there's a few news items connected to this main topic.
Yeah, which is the AI things.
Yes, AI invades the industry.
Oh yeah, and it really sucks.
Yes, and it's funny that there's multiple stories this week about this. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there's some weird stories going on as well.
Yeah.
First of all, let me just say that I hate calling it AI.
Yeah, I mean
it's a bad name for what it is.
It's a calling card now, so everybody knows what we're talking about. But yeah, it's algorithms, right? It's machine learning.
Yeah, it's machine learning. Yeah. They're calling it AI because it's very, but it's that's just a selling point.
Yeah, it's you can kind of see it as a robot that is
sort of
is creating things out of something else, or in case of voice acting, trying to emulate and form sentences and speak. Mm-hmm. So that's why AI is like one of the first things that people think about. Robots that do things for people. That's why it's being called AI, because it's like a robot arm that builds things for you. Yeah. But the technology behind it is different. It's algorithm based.
Yeah. I saw this week, I was in a discussion with someone and they said, unironically that, they're calling it AI because it works exactly like a human brain does.
Yeah.
And like, no, it doesn't.
No.
Because you don't want it to work as a human brain does, because a human brain is super chaotic.
Yeah.
Like, my brain is extremely chaotic, so that's not a real good measure. But other people's brains, everybody's brain is chaotic, some are more than most.
Yeah.
So some more than others. But that's not how it works, because if it works like a human brain, you're going to get a lot more errors. And of course, there are errors now because, things like ChatGPT, it doesn't know everything yet. It hasn't trained on everything yet.
No. And it also trains a lot of bad stuff as well. Like,
yeah, even if it is trained on everything, it's still a glorified, a very, how did I put it last week? A very intricate system that, kind of resembles a random name generator.
Yeah.
Because it only responds to what you type, and it finds the words closest connected
Yeah.
to what you give as a prompt.
Yeah.
And I also hate AI prompt engineers. that title alone is, or AI prompt artists. Like,
yeah,
AI art isn't art.
no,
It's a misnomer. It's an AI picture. You know, using data that's stolen from actual artists.
yeah,
And that's what it does.
yeah. It's crazy how unbelievably like prevalent this AI subject is becoming. Because first it was like, okay, I remember like seeing the first AI generators on the internet, you know, where look, this picture was completely made by a computer, and you can just type words and it can make stuff for you. And it was like, it was really bad, of course, at the start. But now I just hear it everywhere.
Yeah.
And even the company I work for is talking about it, implementing it and using it as tools and stuff. So,
I mean, as helpful tools, fine.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It all depends, of course, what kind of tools, how far does it go, you know, what libraries are used. Because, of course, if you can create a library of shapes and colors and things, and you maintain that, then, of course, there's not really a big problem with that. You can, but yeah, all the public stuff, all the public AI stuff is all using the internet. You know, it's using Wikipedia, it's using art websites, it's scouring the internet for anything it can grab and splash together. So and that's where the whole, you know, rights use and trademark and copyright stuff comes in. And the misuse of it. So, but
it's going to cost people a lot of jobs, and at some point we're going to figure out that these jobs shouldn't have been lost. Like I mentioned last time, that the WGA, the Writers Guild of Association of America, or I'm not sure if it's association, but you know, Writers Guild of America, they're currently on strike because of not just their pay, but also the AI stuff. Because studios are looking into replacing writers. And that is a very bad thing to do, because it's going to be lifeless. There's not going to be any experience behind it. There's not going to be any good joke behind it, because, you know, I've seen some stand-up comics use ChatGPT to write jokes, and they are terrible. They're not jokes. I don't get it. I mean, I love jokes, but, you know, terrible puns as well. But, you know, humans come up with that sort of stuff. Humans are creative.
There's no human touch. There's no experience behind it.
Because there's no intelligence behind it.
No.
There are fearmongers right now that want to grift a lot of money from governments. Because, you know, they want to invest in their own programs. They want the governments to implement rules, laws, to protect themselves. To protect the companies. Because they want all the money. And if someone makes an open source ChatGPT, because OpenAI is no longer an open company, you know, the moment they saw that, you know, we can make a lot of money with this, or even worse, they went for a foundation which has no rules, company rules, to scour the internet for all the data. And after they got most of the data they wanted, they decided to, you know, we're going to make this a company. So without any issues, because there are laws that a company can't scour data from the internet if it's copyrighted. Only if it's for projects as a foundation, you can do that. So they basically skirted all the laws and rules when it comes to copyright. And so now they have a company. And they sell their stuff to other companies. That's how they make money. So they don't want anyone else to do that.
Yeah.
So now they are warning governments, oh, you have to put these rules in place because AI is dangerous. But we are nowhere near that.
Yeah.
So, we're not going to get... We might, one day create artificial general intelligence. Also, the usage of AI is terrible in this case because it comes from sci-fi, science fiction. It's a term created for fake intelligence.
Yeah.
Because that's what artificial is.
Yeah.
And that was used, it's a sci-fi trope.
Yeah.
So, but what we're seeing right now, because we have to keep it on games.
Yeah.
Is that there was a story on Twitter from why did I say it like Twitter?
Twitter.
Like whip. Twitter. And about hey Smurf. Sorry. I saw Smurf.
Hey Smurf.
Welcome. So what I wanted to say was, I'm definitely going to edit this out. What I was going to say was that there's some artists, Korean artists. Well, it's AI Smurf. So there's some stories about AI that came out this week. And so some Korean artists, at least one of them, shared their story about their company, Ray Arc Studios, that fired all their artists, and all their art is now being created by I think Midjourney or one of the others, Stable Diffusion. I don't know.
That's
so yeah, and when you look at that art, you see that it's kind of terrible.
Yeah,
it's really bad. There's no thought behind it. We did ban Pixels and Sprites from their own podcast. Totally. Yep. So
I mean, look
we
at
have
you.
taken over the world.
You're chilling, man. Look at you.
Yeah, just chilling. You had some heavy days behind you, so lots of walking.
Yeah.
But so that's one of the things that we are already seeing right now. We're also seeing the use of voice actors in AI for mods for games, and not paying the artists that you want to emulate.
Yeah.
Like Troy Baker, for instance.
Yeah.
He signed up for one of those things back then, and he was, ridiculed and made fun of a lot.
Yeah. I remember that.
His friends, they told him what people were thinking, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I made a mistake."
I mean, you can even the NVIDIA had a presentation this week, where they showed off their AI NPC, which would they told us, or they told the audience and us, of course, on okay, this is an NPC that has his whole backstory written for him, and and he's going to react in real time to the player, and it is literally, you have to see that video. I don't have it here, but
it's bad.
It is really bad. It's the most monotone, really soulless sounding NPC in history, and the lines that he says are
terrible.
It's like 4 or 5 lines that you could easily let a writer write and have a voice actor. 2 jobs that are very easy to do. And they show like a small character, like a bartender, say these lines, and it's so bad. I thought it was a parody. I thought it was an edited video where someone took like the actual presentation and filled it in with something that was made in Unreal 5 over the weekend or something. But no, it's real, and it's really bad. And I was like, wait, this is the future? Like, you think people will take this? Like, the gaming community will accept this kind of NPCs? Like, no, absolutely not. It's so bad.
It's so bad.
It
is so bad. I mean, there's some experiments with the Chat GPT driven NPC, and You know, no,
No.
because it doesn't work the way you think it's gonna work. If you're using, first of all, you have to stay connected to the internet as well. If you use ChatGPT right now, because you can't install it on your PC.
Yeah.
So if you use that for a game, it's gonna, even if it's like Skyrim or something, it still has to use, you know, it's gonna use all the things it learned.
Yeah.
So at some point, you know, if you're talking with, talking, you know, with an NPC, it might suddenly start talking about, if it's in a fantasy game, for instance, it might suddenly start talking about rockets, you know, or airplanes, or
In 5
whatever.
years.
You can't set boundaries that way.
Yeah.
So there's going to be issues with this so much, and I've already seen. I follow a lot of writers for movies and series, and for games, of course, and a lot of game designers, and none of them are fans of this NVIDIA thing.
No, not surprising.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
been ridiculed so much. You need good writers to write good pieces.
Yeah.
You know, and writers for games. If you don't get new writers, everything's gonna, and the same for artists. If you don't get new artists, you know, train them on smaller stuff, you're gonna lose a lot of you know, how do you say that?
Interest, or
Well, no,
a lot of soul.
Interest. Yeah, a lot of soul is a good one.
Yeah, I'm just looking for words.
But also,
authenticity.
They have no chance. Authenticity as well. Yeah, definitely. But also, you if you don't train new people, everything's gonna get stuck.
Oh,
at some point.
Yeah. I mean, there's
no progress being made from that point on.
No, because
when you use it this way.
I mean, you've got perfectly good trained people that work years. You know, artists that have been perfecting their art for years. Voice actors that have been training their voices and doing different voices. You know, writers that, of course, have years and years of experience in writing specific types of characters. And that all just like gets replaced by like systems, automated systems. I don't see it happen. Like, I feel like even with that NVIDIA presentation where they talk so highly of it, and then you see it and you're like, this is nothing. This is not even close to being ready. No. So it's a gimmick thing that people people won't accept it. It's gonna feel dry and soulless, and you know, if you have a game full of that stuff, then you're gonna see the reviews. So like, almost everything was AI, and it is boring and soulless and monotone, and there's hardly any character in the game. No, it's like, I think they're trying to get into it just because it's a cheap solution, right? It's trying to replace big paying jobs, trying to reduce their workforces as much as possible. Yeah, and
because of one thing.
Yeah, and
greed.
It's basically greed. It's a thing that just like, you know, NFTs and Bitcoin stuff and all those little things where people jump immediately at it because wait a minute, we can make money off this if we jump into this new hype thing, and this AI is now the latest of that. And I hope I really hope it fizzles out, but I think everybody's saying no, it's the future, get ready, accept it, and it's
but
weird.
On the other hand, there are things happening where I'm like, I people have warned you that this is going to happen. So in the US, there is an organization called NEDA, which is the National Eating Disorders Association. And they fired a lot of people because they wanted to use an AI chatbot.
Okay.
For for helping people with their eating disorder. Right?
Oh right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And what ended up happening was they had to pull the chatbot down.
Yeah. because
oh
my
it
God.
was doing things
Yeah.
that was causing harm. So it was giving bad information. It was I'm not sure. It was giving very harmful advice
Yeah.
because of the it's a bad system.
Yeah.
It's not a system that's gonna work.
It's like taking the help bot from like a website, a storefront, and using that for for like helping people with actual problems that they need help with.
Yeah.
And it's it only
so the chatbot is gonna be, especially for something like this, for people who are already suffering because they have an eating disorder, they have issues with getting their life back together. I'm one of the people. I don't have an eating disorder. I do need to lose weight though, but that's an aside. I have other issues. I am going through a therapist because I need a human touch for that. I need someone who's empathetic.
Yeah.
Empathic.
Empathetic.
Messing up
No,
that
empathetic.
word.
Empathetic is the right word.
Empathetic. Okay. Yeah, I think both are correct though.
Oh.
Empathic and empathetic. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, I looked it up once.
Yeah.
But you need someone with. Where did I did say that once.
You need someone with experience and also like a personal experience where you can draw your information from.
Well, I mean, if you're a psychotherapist, you have studied a lot. You may not have personal experience.
Yeah, okay,
but you know a lot.
You can like string things together. You can you can connect certain things because you recognize a certain pattern in someone speaking, or you can recognize the subject he's talking about, or it's just stuff that AI can't do. It can't recognize that. No, because especially if you're typing, if it's like a typing bot, there's no you don't face them personally. So yeah, I'm surprised they let they let them use that even. I guess they tried and found out.
Yeah, it's so bad. Let me see. I made a tweet about it, and I was very pissed off. At the people that were doing this, because you don't mess around with disorders like that. You don't mess around with people who are having mental issues, because they have a lot of on their mind already.
Yeah, but let's do circle it around back to games, I think, because so it's just awful what people are trying to do with AI.
Yeah, and for things like that, you need just compassion and empathy and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but for games, replacing writers is never a good idea.
No,
that's one. Just replacing people in general is never really a good idea. The thing is, people are comparing it to the Industrial Revolution. That cost people a lot of jobs. I mean, that did happen.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah.
But we also continued on and created more jobs out of that.
Yeah, I had a whole discussion on about this as well on Twitter with someone who started to send me personal messages. One of those tech bros with Bitcoins in their names and stuff.
Oh, yeah, same kind of grifters. Yeah.
And they were talking about what about the flight industry and you would have and the car industry, and you drive a car. Well, look how far we've come using all this technology. And it's like, yeah, but that's if you create the concept of a car, you know how many jobs you're creating. Like he was saying about the horses, the people who drove horses and horse taxis, they were gonna go out of a job and all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, but okay, you have a car, you have car manufacturers, you have repair shops, you have taxi drivers, like all these other things that spring from that. That's a whole different story. AI does the opposite. It removes jobs, and it takes place, a person's place, and doesn't give them something else to do with that, right?
No, because eventually what's going to happen is that you're going to see with certain jobs is that a person is going to there's like 100 jobs for one thing, and at some point that's going to be like, oh, we can lose half of our workforce on that, and then when it gets even better, you're going to lose more another half. At some point, there's going to be one person left that's going to check the AI every once in a while.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
So that is 99 jobs lost. Even though what it should do is a tool that should help people be more efficient in their job.
Yeah.
I have nothing against AI that helps people.
No.
I have or algorithms, in this case, machine learning things.
Yeah,
I have nothing against that. If a tool is helpful, it is helpful. If it helps you, make your editing better, or add something.
Yeah, it can find faults in things. It can speed up search stuff. You can like use it as a tool to recognize things for you.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff. Use it as a tool. And of course, eventually, I hope, even with like if an AI art can actually draw himself. It's still, of course, weird because it's still going to take people out of their job.
It's not going to create something new.
No.
It's not going to create a new art style.
So I think it's eventually like there's got to be a limit, right? An end to this story. Because, of course, AI art is getting better slowly. It still has problems with hands and stuff.
It's not perfect.
So,
but it's still clear when it's AI art.
You can see it. There's a certain like specific. It's almost like its own art style. Yeah, there's something. It's got this smoothness and these kind of like specific lines where you can recognize it. There's always like this. It's always like it's very It's very it's very digital.
Uncanny about it.
Yeah,
and you can't really. Sometimes you get this feeling of when something is uncanny automatically because you just know there's something wrong about it. So that's still what a lot of artists see.
Yeah.
Luckily, so they can easily identify a certain.
Yeah, if they can identify segue.
I was working towards that.
Yeah, because so there's this company called Evercade who makes they make their own consoles basically for arcade games and simple games and collections of classics.
Arcade cabinets, right?
Yeah, mini arcade cabinets. They have a console. They have a handheld. Stuff like that.
Great company.
Yeah, it's a cool idea, right? So you can play some classic games on a specific console made for it and stuff. And they decided that they're gonna develop a new Duke Nukem package, which includes basically all the classic Duke Nukes. Yeah. I'm a big fan of that. So of course it popped up on my timeline, and I checked it out, and then I started reading the messages. So here's the trailer for it. I'm going to show it on the screen here. It's cool. They have Duke Nukem 1 and 2. The source port I talked about that runs Duke Nukem 2 on the modern PCs. They actually hired that guy to do these remasters. So that was cool. Oh, that was cool. That's cool. Yeah. They have this fun commercial where someone dresses up as Duke. And then in the end, I'm gonna skip a little bit forward. So you see
Duke Nukem 3D and Duke Nukem Advance.
And the PSX games. So it's a whole collection.
Sweet.
It's pretty cool. And the art that they used, you guessed it. So here, the Duke Nukem you see on the screen here, that's AI art. They hired an artist, and they looked at his portfolio, and they thought, oh, this guy has talent. Let's hire him. They didn't really read his profile because his profile, if you look it up, his profile says hybrid artist. And hybrid, of course, in this case means he's using AI art and then he, adds things to it or edits it a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you look at this picture of Duke Nukem long enough, you can find a lot of flaws. And of course, people picked up on that instantly on the internet because our brains are still very good at identifying this stuff. And of course, we brought the heat. The community did. And apparently, what we think now is that the Evercade people didn't realize this was AI art. So they were first defending. Yeah, they started defending them first. They started off with someone said, "This is AI art, right?" And they said, "No, this art was made by a very talented artist." And everyone is like, "Bulls!" Beep. And of course, it turned out to be AI art, so they removed the art from the websites. It's still in the trailer because, of course, I don't think they want to just remove that trailer, but they had it all over their website, and they apologized for it as well. I think at this time, but yeah, that's one of those examples where an AI artist sneaks into a company, into a project.
Artist is a bad word
okay. Scammer sneaks into a
grifter
project, and he was able to sell his stuff to them. And you can even there's some people I think who found images where it probably sourced it from. But yeah, it's a funny story. So that's, at least it ended well, of course. But if no one said anything, it would just go through, and this guy was like, okay, well, I can do more work for you.
So it was Blaze Entertainment. I just looked it up.
Okay.
And the CEO, Andrew Byatt, stated that over the last 24 hours, we have been humbled by the support and excitement over our newest cartridge announcements and our partnership with Gearbox to bring the Duke Nukem franchise to Evercade.
Yeah.
As part of this, an artist was commissioned to produce a lead image for the new Duke Nukem 1+2 remastered game developed by Blaze Entertainment. It is abundantly clear from the response on social media that the work on this commission has fallen below the expectation and standards demanded by fans due to the artist's use of AI in the process. We are immediately removing the art where possible to do so, and will be announcing a replacement commission in due course that better meets the high standard expected. So yeah, hire real artists.
Yeah.
We would like to apologize to you, all of the fans who have felt passionately about this enough, and please be assured are working to remedy this. We also would like to thank everyone who has worked on the project to date for their input. So yeah, that's Andrew Byatt from Blaze Entertainment. So yeah, that's wow.
Yeah, I guess
clear as day.
Yeah, I do wonder, if one of the people who worked there, maybe they suspected it was AI, but let it go as long as no one said anything about it.
That could
we'll
happen,
never know, of course.
No, we won't know.
But yeah,
people mess up here.
This stuff might happen. So I think, I think the gaming community is very good at detecting this stuff. So our community detectives are always on the case for this stuff. So if you see something that you suspect is AI, do a little research first, of course, before yelling, because sometimes someone has a specific art style that looks like that.
Well, that's the beauty of it right now, because at this moment in time we can still see kind of clearly if especially if you're an artist, if it's AI or not.
Yeah.
So I've seen lots of different styles of art. Of course, I've hired artists myself in the past for some projects I wanted to work on. I need to hire artists for one of the projects I'm currently working on. So in due time. But do your research.
Yeah.
As you said.
Very important.
Yes. There's lots of stuff going on with AI right now. Most of the people that I've seen were pushing blockchain and later NFTs are now pushing AI.
Yeah, it's the next thing, huh?
Yeah, so it's the next grift. Yeah, that's very funny. Pixels and Sprites themselves said AI doesn't fly. So I assume that's Benjiro in the chat right now.
You never know who's behind the name.
Yeah. But yeah, AI doesn't fly. That's a very good point.
Yeah, it's gonna be our motto. Yeah.
that's going to be a good motto. Actually, AI doesn't fly,
Yeah,
because you don't want AI to fly. You do have autopilots.
Yeah.
But that's not an AI.
No, that's a computer that has been perfected to do that stuff, and it's been used for so many years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole different story. But yeah,
it's a very specific thing that's been programmed.
Yeah, I think because I think the whole AI thing, the gaming community has been so strong against it. It's mostly like people that want to make a quick buck or see their opportunity to invest in it, that want to get it, because also I saw so many discussions about AI art, and there's this thing going around where there's a picture, like there's a photo. For example, someone had the photo of the
right.
the what's
Mona
the
Lisa.
street? The Mona Lisa, and the album from the Beatles.
Oh, Abbey
Road. And they say, would you want to know what was around this picture? What's the rest look like? And they had this AI created, and it's so dumb. It's so, because of course Abbey Road is a real street, so you could just look it up what it looks like. And Mona Lisa is a floating torso in a in a void.
In a void.
So
and Abbey Road suddenly added like a blimp.
Yeah, exactly.
A
blimp
and a weird looking dog.
Yeah, Minecraft dog.
That dog was really bad. Yeah, it was really bad. So that's been ridiculed as well. I think it's Adobe with their Firefly thing.
God damn it, Adobe.
Yeah, they've also been pushing AI for a while now.
Yeah.
And as I said, AI can be useful. It can be a useful tool. But in this case, it's being ridiculed because it's so dumb.
Oh.
It's dumb. It doesn't add anything new. The thing with art is deliberate.
Yeah.
Art is, there's thought behind it. There is a reason why the elements in the art are there. There's also a reason why elements are removed from the art.
Yes.
We've heard plenty of stories of old paintings that, when they look underneath it, they see a different painting or something changed, because the artist, that painted it was like, this isn't good.
Yeah.
This needs to be better. So, yeah. And they start off with a sketch most of the time. So, of course, that's underneath all the paint. So, but art is deliberate. It has meaning.
Yeah.
And
that has it's like you can give all the prompts you want, but you can still do something that you can still make art that no AI can replicate, basically.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's fine.
Okay. So I did want to say one more thing about it, is that I've read stories from tech bros that were claiming, art is going to be democratized. I mean, art is democratic as fuck.
Yeah.
So it's already democratized because everybody can make art. Some people just have to work harder to, better their skills. I did art in the past.
Yeah.
I'm not that good at it because I never continue doing it. If I continue doing it, I might be a lot better these days. Might have been a lot better. I decided not to because I didn't have the patience for it. But I've seen friends, who got, within a year, their art style was so completely different. It's so much better.
Yeah.
I've seen, people on Twitter share their stuff. This was me 3 months ago. This is me now, and that's amazing.
Exactly.
So everybody can make art. Even the art community is like, we want people to make art.
Yeah.
We want people to, because others are claiming like it's elitist. Like the tech bros are claiming, oh no, it's elitist that you are making art and I'm not, and I have to pay you for it. Like, yeah, everybody has to be paid for their skills.
It's so weird.
If you commission an artist, you have to pay them. You can't just ask for free art. That's not how it works. They put their time, money, and work in it, and the same goes for writers. The same goes for programmers.
Yeah.
They put their skills and hard work and time into what they're making for your games, for your comics, for your movies, whatever. So, you can't expect people to make art for you for
No.
free. If you want free art, do it yourself.
Yes.
So, and AI is gonna screw a lot of people over this way.
Yeah. It's just. There's just like there's no what we talked about earlier. Like, there's just no soul behind this AI stuff, and people are gonna find out. Like the people that start their indie studios hire like everything do AI, and there's even this fun thing where there's these programmers that said, yeah, AI definitely can program really fast, but you know how much longer the debugging is on that?
Yep.
It's like 10 times as much work to like clean up that code and to make it workable. It's like that's not there yet, so that's not going to happen soon. Yeah, it's just especially for characters and voice acting, especially if you have story-driven games, that's so important. Like, and I can very, very maybe understand if you are like have a very big RPG and there's like a random NPCs running around that you have like some random dialogue based on the world lore or something. So using the world lore to say some random things. Yeah. But to have like full like important characters replaced by AI written dialogue and voice acting. No, that's not gonna happen. But people won't take that. People won't accept that.
No, I mean there might be some people who might be fans of it somehow. I don't know why or how, but it's the same thing as people. There are still the people developing NFT games. I don't get it why, because we've already seen that the game industry is very much against it.
Yeah, I mean the big shots like Dr. Disrespect's game hasn't come out yet. We don't even know if that's going to be implemented in the end. There's multiple games that are in development that are going to use that stuff that are not out yet, that are not like the Battle Royale game by director Neil Blomkamp. They released a new trailer.
I think that's the same game from Dr. Disrespect and Neil Blomkamp.
No. It's different.
Oh, I think it's the same.
No, they're both Battle Royale games, but Neil Blomkamp's project is a lot more his style, his futuristic style. At least Dr. Disrespect.
With the weird look.
The weird CG look where all the comments are praising it, and then anyone who has a brain is like, "What the fuck is this?" But no, the Dr. Disrespect. At least Dr. Disrespect's game has gameplay now. They did some gameplay sessions. Very alpha, which is kind of cool to have a real alpha with. No textured environments, but the whole NFT aspect is not in there yet. I guess you can find them, I guess, while playing, and then you have to escape with them. That's the whole idea, right? That's what he wanted. So he wanted to have that that excitement of finding an NFT and escaping with it, and that it's a lot of worth, like that stuff. But for us now, the game itself didn't look too bad. It was actually kind of interesting to have a Battle Royale with a lot of vertical space. Right. That's kind of cool. But
that's cool. Yeah.
So, they could scrap the NFT and still have an okay Battle Royale game.
I mean, lots of several NFT games that I've looked at were designed around the NFT, and the gameplay is very bad.
Yeah.
There's one Axie something. I keep forgetting that name. I know it's Axie, AXIE. And that game caused a lot of issues in the Philippines.
Okay.
With their NFT shit, because people outside the Philippines, in more wealthier countries, they would screw over people in the Philippines.
Oh God.
With their NFTs and the way you can get the NFTs, it's terrible. It's very bad. Yeah. So I think that in-game economy also collapsed. So I think they lost a lot of money on that. So I'm not a fan of NFTs and AI.
Remember
in these cases.
Remember when video games were video games?
Yeah, like you buy a game or you rent one. Remember renting video games?
Oh yeah.
So and then you play it and then you unlock stuff in the game.
In the game. Yeah.
In the game. Now you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm fine with expansions and that sort of stuff, but every game you not buy now, oh, you're gonna unlock this stuff if you buy this season pass, or like a lot of games have that now, and it totally sucks, dude.
Yeah.
It sucks.
There's,
I mean, I'm
it's
not
like,
cynical, but
yeah,
I'm not negative, but
this is why
it's tiring.
no, the indie space is so much more honest in that, like, you always want games to be passion projects. Basically, that's what I'm looking for, right? So whatever game you're getting presented is like, if the developers immediately say we have no microtransactions, there's no AI art in our games, there's all these like bullet points. If they immediately address that when the community asks for it, okay, you have a green flag. You're good to go. And I hope that all this AI talk and NFT stuff I hope it's gonna evaporate because the community doesn't want to. I think that's what I'm so happy about, is to see all the pushback from the gaming community. It's like, we don't want this. Microtransactions was a good thing, right, with EA, and everybody every time an EA game's got announced, waiting for the microtransactions, everybody was just ready to go, right? Yeah. Every time. And then, okay, wait, what? A single player Star Wars game without microtransactions?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, Respawn saved EA, I think, in that case.
So
EA had a lot of bad press at that moment.
Yeah. So we're lucky. We're lucky that the games community is so aware of this stuff, and we can push back on these things. We can, make sure that developers rethink their strategies.
Management mostly.
Yeah, I mean, and we still have to like poke some of the people that don't understand what they're getting involved in. I keep tweeting Neil Blomkamp's like, dude, don't do it, dude.
Yeah,
dude, what are you doing, dude?
Are you gonna be the Neil Blomkamp whisperer?
Yeah. It's like I was actually kind of mean because I was talking on Twitter with the guy who made the Duke Nukem 2 port, and because I recognized the widescreen, how it was done. I was like, hey, so I tweeted at him, hey, did you is your regional engine project, is this part of it? It's like, yeah, man, we've been working for months now with them, and it's great. It's like, okay. Awesome. So I said, okay, well, I hope this whole AI art is gonna get resolved. And then I didn't get an answer back. So I felt a little bit guilty for like, maybe he didn't understand that, or maybe he was like, okay, I'm gonna shut up about this until hands off. I did my part. Whatever they're gonna do with their AI art stuff, that's their problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think that was it, because of course he helped them with this project, which is really cool. I was really surprised that he was actually involved with this. Just a random guy who made this source port for Duke Nukem got to make an official release for Duke Nukem 1 and 2, so awesome. Remaster. So that's cool. But
there's one more thing I wanted to talk about, because we were talking about management. There's a new Variety article out with none other than the biggest evil guy in the game industry right now, Bobby Kotick.
Godick, okay, yeah.
Godick, whatever. he needs to move away from the industry.
Yeah,
he needs to go. He's blaming the developers for the issues within the company. I have to remind people that he allegedly threatened to kill. Threatened someone with their lives.
Oh yeah, that was the bullying.
With the stewardess, again? I think. Yeah. The flight attendant.
Yeah.
Not a stewardess is a bad word these days. Flight attendant who, he said that I could have you killed, allegedly.
Oh right, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a very bad take. But that Variety article is nothing but a fluff piece.
Oh,
it's terrible. There's also a video out, and he's getting a lot of flack for that, deservedly so.
Yeah.
Because speaking of not being connected with the people, with the community, that guy's so far removed from everything.
Yeah, he's one of those rich guys, manager, boss types that he sits on his chair, counts his money, and sometimes makes small talk with the developers, and he doesn't care about the subjects. He's just there to get cash.
And with the way things are going with the Microsoft acquisition or merger, whatever, of Activision Blizzard King and Microsoft, once that is done, and it will likely be done, I hope he's gonna be, I hope he's going out.
Yeah.
I hope he will get a golden parachute.
Oh, definitely.
And after that, he should just be out, and Microsoft should really change things up at the company, because Activision has a lot of good stuff, but they're only doing, because of Blizzard, they're still doing things other than Call of Duty, but Activision itself is just Call of Duty now.
Mostly.
And it shows. It's bad.
I'm gonna post definitely some firework gifs when he actually gets out.
Yeah,
like,
he should be pushed out as hard as possible.
Yeah,
like immediately when the deal's done.
I don't even like talking about this guy.
Okay, no.
Just. I mean, in spirit, right? Like, I just don't like talking about this guy anymore. Yeah. He has to go. He's an idiot, and there's some people that don't deserve to be in this industry sometimes. Like,
also the people that threaten developers or make fun of developers. Game developers are doing their best.
I think your audio just dropped.
Oh,
there you're back. No.
Okay.
I have this sometimes with my Discord.
Oh, okay. It might be on my recording. So what I just said was, in case you didn't hear me, people that threaten developers should also not be part of the game industry anymore.
Oh, no.
Or game community anymore.
No.
Because the community is pretty okay at policing itself against things like NFTs and probably AI in this case as well.
Yeah.
But we also need to get rid of people like the ones that threaten a woman in a game development area, or make fun of certain developers because they F up with their game. It happens.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, I don't understand that kind of behavior, like, at all. Like, sometimes I can, like, imagine, right, how people can get to a certain place and say a certain thing, but harassing the voice actress for Abby from Last of Us.
Yeah.
Why? Like, don't you like, these people don't even realize that it's just an actress doing a voice, following a script.
Yeah.
That it's not real. Like, they can't separate that. Like, it's like being mad at like a villain in a movie, and then seeing the actor on streets and and trying to, like, be mad at people in real life, because it's so weird. I don't understand that behavior. Like, where does that come from? It's like
weird. It's weird. Like look at the actor that played Joffrey on Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
he was just a kid, and he got, he just wanted to stop working.
Oh yeah, immediately after that was his last acting thing.
I think so. Yeah, I'm not sure he's doing anything in acting right now.
No. He completely stopped, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, it might have changed in due time, but he was being bullied basically on the street because his portrayal of Joffrey was so damn good.
Yeah, I mean, that's the mark of a good actor, right? If you're being harassed for it. God, it's so bad.
Not if you're still a kid.
No. Especially not. No.
Don't go after kids.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, even like, I can imagine. For example, I wasn't the biggest fan of the girl playing Leia in was it The Mandalorian? No, was it Obi-Wan?
No,
sorry,
the little girl in Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Like, I wasn't too big of a fan of her, right? I was like, God damn, why did they do this? But I wouldn't go and go, I hate you on the street if I met her. Like, what? Are you insane? It's just a little girl doing her best, probably.
That's not normal behavior.
Yeah. but yeah, there's so much toxicity in the gaming community, and I'm always baffled by some of these posts. I sometimes I get involved, but I know it's usually people that they're so far gone that you can't talk sense into them.
No.
There's no use
for
there's
that.
no use. Like, it's no use. They're gone. They have this insecurity or whatever, and they have this like bomb in them. They have to like let the fuse go once in a while, and they use the gaming and like whenever like they see a target, they just jump at it. It's just I don't know. It's so dumb. I maybe because I'm older, I don't do that stuff, but I don't remember myself doing that stuff when I was younger either. Screaming at developers for fixing, fix your game. I got like another discussion where I got in what was it, The Last of Us, the whole multiplayer thing that they put a statement out after the PlayStation event. So guys, we're still working on it. Don't worry, it's still in development. And apparently, I think it leaked.
It's working out as they want it.
Yeah, exactly. I think they got advice from Bungie. They basically asked them, "Hey, what you're making is cool, but for long-term player engagement, this is not gonna work." Whatever they had, so they had to like basically rethink their project, and that's why it's taking longer. And then people, online start complaining. They say, well, give us something, show us something, show us gameplay, show us a little bit, show us concept art. But a developer can't do that if they don't have that, right? If they're working on it, if they don't know what they're working on. And that's what I keep saying. You can't show something that early.
I mean, they've been working on it for a while now. But, what they're working on right now is just the bare bones.
Yeah, exactly.
Art is gonna come later, mostly.
Yeah, and
and they don't want to show off things too early because things will change during development.
That was I was gonna say. It's gonna create no, sorry, it's good that you mentioned it. Like people, they're gonna create wrong expectations if they show something early, and they show a certain feature that will not make it in the end game. Naughty Dog knows the gaming community. It's all about, oh, what a downgrade, oh, hey, what happened to X feature? And I thought this game had blah,
or the puddles in Spider-Man.
Exactly, or the puddles in Spider-Man.
So stupid.
God damn it, the puddles. But that's why they don't do it, because a Naughty Dog knows how the community works. If they are ready to show you something, they will. You know why? Because they want to. They're like game developers are as passionate about their projects as gamers, maybe even more, because it's in their hands. And a lot of gamers just forget that. Like some people think they don't care about their game if it has bugs. Like, oh, you don't care about cheaters. Oh yeah, they do care about cheaters. It's just a problem. It's a really hard problem. Stuff like that. It's a lot of ignorance, I think, especially on how game development works. A lot of people still think it's a linear cycle. Like, work on this first. They talk about priorities when a game development studio is little islands of different aspects of the game: music, coding, graphics. All that stuff is separate. So if you talk about netcode, don't add more guns. Fix the network coding first. And like, that's two different departments, dude. They're working on it. The network people are working on their part. The guns are still going to be added because those people need something to do.
Exactly.
Work goes on, always goes on. So the toxicity is just I think it's a lot of ignorance.
It's also entitlement.
And it's entitlement. People, that's another thing, right? People feel entitled to information. And that was part of that conversation I had. It's like, yeah, well, I've been buying their games for 10 years now. I expect like more information because of that. No, they don't own you anything. Unless you pre-ordered something. Unless you paid for it, and they promised to show you something, then you can say, okay, where's my information? You have said that you would do this, and you haven't. No, they're working on a new project that is in development. It's still early. They had to change something. Let them cook, as they say on the internet.
Exactly. Let them cook. But with that, I would love to talk about this a lot more.
Oh, yeah. There's so much to...
There's so much to discuss about that topic. But for now, we're going to have to put an end to this entire thing. For this week, not for the entirety.
Let's stop the entire podcast.
Yeah.
But Jiro left already.
Exactly.
We can't handle it. We're pressing the wrong buttons.
Yeah, exactly. No, but next week, Benjiro is definitely going to be back. You are going to be back as well.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
All right. So, what are your plans then for the
coming week?
If you have any plans.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm gonna dive into the big game, Diablo 4. I'm still going through the other games actually. I think I'm just gonna let it hang for now. I might get it later because I did like the beta. I did have fun. I have fun with those. Yeah. But I have enough game already. Like
right. Same here. Like I said, I just started with Front Mission, so I'm going to be playing that the coming week. Also, more Halls of Torment.
Yeah,
it's in early access right now. And speaking of games that are out right now, like last year, I did want to mention this. Don't Nods, really great game. Tell Me Why is free on Steam and Xbox right now. For the Pride Month, of course.
Oh, of course, right. Yeah, that makes sense.
They did the same thing last year, and it's free through the entire month of June. So if you want a really good Don't Nod experience, if you love Life is Strange, you probably already heard of this game, but Tell Me Why is a really good experience as well. So, I might want to play that this month as well. So I picked it up last year for free, but I didn't.
Oh, okay.
But I did.
You didn't play
pick it up.
Okay.
I didn't play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So words are hard, dude.
Words are hard. Yeah.
So, all right. So probably more Harrod and
more Mario Galaxy 2. Yeah, I'm gonna continue getting more stars. I think I'm almost halfway. Okay. And I've been playing quite a lot. So, but yeah, I'm stuck on that one stupid comment thing. I'm gonna have to get through that. Yeah. But yeah.
Damn comment.
The damn trickster comment, yeah.
Right. Okay. And where can people find you?
They can find me. It's below in the stream over there. At the Metzman on Twitter. That's where I live. Internet wise.
Very active there.
Yeah. I mingle myself in discussions. I retweet. I post. And I, if I do go live on Twitter, on Twitch, I will also announce it over there usually. So you can find all the infos on my Twitter. I'm there. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So it's the Metzman.
At the Metzman.
Yeah, with a Z.
Yeah, METZ. So THEMETZMAN.
Yeah, and you can find me Vash at PVBaikun, PVBAIKUN, on Twitter as well for now. But yeah, I don't do Twitch, so it's not really a thing. I'm here every week.
Yeah.
So far, so maybe I'm gonna miss out a week someday. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah. But if you've been listening or have been watching the stream, thank you. And until next week.
Bye. Later. Okay, we're off.